Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you. Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Welcome back to the Finca.
Another beautiful day.
Absolutely glorious.
Hello,
fantastic. I've just had a wander up the garden actually because it's been terribly neglected this year. We just haven't had time. And our potato plants that we planted last year, just before the frost, they were about this big. They were doing really well, and then we had a really bad frost, and they died.
January this year, wasn't it? I think.
Was it January?
January this year, yeah.
So I just left them. As I say, we've not had time to do the garden. I just left them, and I just wandered up just to have a look around really, and I thought, oh, are they weeds? And I've got 3 potato plants popped up.
So you're going to plant some more?
Kind of spurred me on now, because I was so fed up with it all, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'm not going to bother. But no, it spurred me on. I've got some more potatoes that are going to seed, so I'm going to plant those today. Have a day in the garden for a change.
Fab.
And
it's a perfect day for it.
It is. And my Berenjena, aubergine. They were coming on great, and then when I had the disaster with my tomatoes, I used some water that had got chemical in it, didn't realise. They suffered as well, and again I've just left them in the ground, and this morning 2 have come back to life, so absolutely fantastic. So thought I'd share that with you.
What's up, good boys? Just seen a cat. 2 cats. Yes, cool. And I want to try and get those doors done in this video for the utility, but our UV sterilizers arrived earlier than expected, so the first job for me is to get that in.
Yes, very important.
So we crack on?
Crack on.
Here it is, look at that. Very well packaged. Doesn't appear to be any breakages. Those are the UV bulbs. They come in their own tubes, well wrapped. So fingers crossed on that. So yes, I'll have a look what we've got to do to get it in. Right, so I think I'm going to put him on the floor down there, because I've got less joints in there, my electric box. I should really move that, put it up there out of the way. It wouldn't be too difficult, but maybe another day. So we'll have less joints in the vicinity of it, and the bulb opening will be at that end, so I can easily slide the bulb out, not the mistake I made with this one. So the first thing to do, I think, is get the water off, get this one out of the way, and sort my pipe work out. Just before I do that, I'm going to put the connections on this. All we do is this stuff, absolutely fantastic. It's better than PTFE, gas safe as well, for anyone that's that way inclined. Just wrap some of this round the threads. I think for this diameter of thread, it needs about 12 turns. We don't want any leaks, do we? Something like that. My box fell apart, so I have to do it all manually. Got a little cutter on it as well. And then the adapter go on there. Hopefully. That's it. We'll just tighten them all the way down. Then the other end will go on there where the pipe's going to go into, and same on the other side, so I'll get them sorted out. Alrighty, so there we go, 2 ends on, ready for our pipes to go in. Now we can get the other one disconnected, get the water shut off and get rid of the old one. I've just put the clips on to secure them to my piece of timber first. Now I'm going to get the water off and get rid of this old thing. Right, so there we go. It's full of water, so I need to go and try and empty him without emptying all over the floor. We're about to get a bit there, but yes, it's out. So what I've done, I've just put a 90 on there. I've cut a piece of pipe that's going to go the right length between the 2 things. Just get him on there. Come on, get on. I'm going to put the bottom in first because I've got a bit of wobbleability in the top to get him on after. We'll go on, there we go. Don't forget the O-ring. Right, so I'll get this one connected up. He just pushes in there and that just screws down over the top. Same with the top. Put this end on the other end and that'll be him. So I'll get it done. Now I've cut one for the other side. I've just made sure he fits first before I put the ends on. So I'll get the ends on him and get him fixed in place as well. Nearly there. Right, so before I go any further, I'm going to pressure it up, check for leaks. Yeah, at this stage, I think it's time to do that now. And the pump's pressuring up. The pump's just pressured up. Can't see anything as yet. Fantastic. We'll leave it a few minutes and then come back to it and hopefully we'll all be good. The next thing to do is to get the old control box off the wall. And I'm going to put the new one in a different location, I think, somewhere over there where I can plug it in so I can still use this socket. So I'm going to move my Wi-Fi to one over there as well, because these sockets are great and dead handy. We use them all the time. So we'll get him out of the way. So there you go. Got all these nice clips in and everything. Right, I've got a cable tie there. I'll clip these off and then we'll have a look where we're going to put the new one. Well, they're not over generous with the cable on that. I've had to mount the control thing down there right next to it. Nothing else I can do. And the plug just reaches to there. So it'll work. See if I can get this bulb out now. Gently. Crikey. Everything's super well packaged, which is good. Hopefully it'll be all intact inside. And one more at the end, I'm guessing. Oh, look what we've got here. Again, you don't want to touch these with your hands. Right, that's the end I want. Fabulous. So, he just slides in the end there. Get him in. Just like that. Excellent. Then we need to plug him in. This plug just here. And see if it works. Right, it's in. Let's plug him in. See what happens. I'll secure this cable up in a minute. Well, the green light's on. It says leave it for 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll do that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're good. Another good job well done.
So the first job to do was to clear all the weeds, because these horrible like reeds, they just take over. So I've done that, and you can clearly see now where last year's potatoes, in fact it's 2 separate plants there, have started to come up. There's one there, and I don't know whether you can make out down at the bottom as well. So I was going to put the seed potatoes that I've got left in this bed, but as I've been digging out these blooming things, I actually came across one potato that had just started to sprout, so I've put him back in the soil. I'm not actually going to use this bed now. I'm not going to disturb it at all, because the chances are there are more potatoes in there that hopefully, fingers crossed, will come up. So I'm just in the process now of clearing the second bed, and I'm going to put my this year's potatoes in there and see what happens. Really, we've got nothing to lose.
Right, so if anyone's wondering what this is actually for, because we haven't said, have we? People who watch other videos will know, obviously. It's part of our water purification system. we get as much water as we can, we collect it off the roof, it goes into big deposits on the land and stuff, and we pump it into a big tank under here where we purify it. And we do have to get it delivered because we can't collect enough for our needs, but we don't do too bad. So basically that comes out of the tank here, it goes to a 5 micron filter, particle filter, a 1 micron, a 5 micron, a 1 micron particle filter, 5 then 1, and all they do is filter out particles. Then there's an activated charcoal, a carbon filter, which takes out all chemically things and what have you. And then finally the UV sterilizer that we've just fitted today, that gets rid of, kills all the bacteria, E. coli and that sort of thing. If you do fit one of these, what you must make sure is that you've got a 1 micron filter in your filter system, because apparently nasty little bacteria can hide behind particles bigger than 1 micron. So that's it basically. So we've now got good steady drinking water again.
And there we have it, all done. 14 have gone in the 2 beds here, and then as I say, that's just the old bed. We'll see what happens, how many of those actually pop up. A job well done. I wasn't looking forward to it, all these blooming weeds and things, but it's done. Onwards and upwards.
Right, okay, let's get on with these doors. Right, what I need first is a stop, like the revealed part for the door, on 1 on each side I think, on 4 of them. I've just measured the wood. They want to be 30 millimeters by 90 centimeters height. So the first thing to do is go and rip down some, I've got some floorboard offcuts which will probably do perfectly for that. So we'll go and have a look. Right, so I've got several bits here, just offcuts of things. I'm not sure where that one came from, it's quite wide, must have needed a little bit of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip these down into 30 millimeter widths on the old table saw, which you can't see, it's here. And then cut them to length, the length that I want, and get them nailed on basically. This is where my vice used to live, remember. It's just occurred to me I'm going to need one sooner rather than later, because to make the handles for the door I make them out of bent, you know, lengths of bar. So, and we can't have them being odd, can we? So I need to get another one of those. Happy days, not. Right, so I'll get the saw out and get these cut down. For any of you aspiring table sawers, what I do, there's a scale on the front here, and because I want a 30 millimeter cut, I set with a red line that lines up with the scale. You just put it in and tighten the bar under, and then this gap then is 30 mil. It does have a double scale on it, so you can allow for the blade, but it's far simpler to just cut off your 30 mil on there. So all we do is stick our wood, get the blade going, run it through, using the push stick if necessary, because watch your pinkies, because it'll have them straight off. There we go, 4 out of 1. Just need to cut them to length, and I'm going to cut the groove off because it hasn't got a tongue on the other end because it's already been cut. So I'll get these cut down now, and then we're going to see about getting them in. Right, so we've got our nail gun. Just gonna, there's not many in it, so I'm just going to reload him. It's as easy as that. Then I'm just going to put a bead of glue down the face, stick him where I want him, and bang some nails through it. I'm just going to check that now with a piece of what I'm going to use for the doors. That was very nice actually. Even if it wasn't, there wouldn't be a lot I could do about it. So now I can get the other three done. See me excitement, I'm getting ahead of myself yet again. I forgot this one I need to do on top of the worktop as well, with all the other bits in them. So I need to cut two for this and get them in, so I'll do that now. Right, so they're cut. I need to use shorter nails in this because this is only 20mm and that's only 20mm and the other nails are 50. So I'm going to use 35mm nails. Same again, I'm going to glue it and nail it, and with these I'm going to actually clamp them in place because I've got nothing to sit against. So I'll get these in. I'm actually going to put two on this side because of my electric box. I did bother clamping them, I'll just measure them. There we go. And one more up there. I've done this side. Right, apologies, I'm sure some people will be very upset, but we're harping on about power again. We've had a lot of people asked a lot of questions about 24 to 48 volts, etc. I've obviously not explained it very well, so now I'm going to do a demonstration. So what we've got here, we've got two 12 volt, they're 130 amp hour batteries, both of them equal. If we go across the pos and the neg on one battery, if I can hold this, very technical this, you can see we've got, can you see that, 12.45 volts at 130 amps. Volts times amps gives you your wattage. So 12 times 130 is how much? I don't know. Hang on, I've got a calculator here, I'll work it out. 1,560 watts in each battery. Now, if we wire the batteries in parallel, that's positive to positive and negative to negative, that will still give us 12 volts, but it will give us double that, 3,120 amps. It's amps, the current, that is dangerous with electricity. That's what causes fires, and it'll kill you more easily than the volts. So if by wiring these in series, so that's pos to neg on across two batteries, I'm going to do it to show you. Not with that one, I made up one here especially, just like that. The current stays the same, but if I can show you this, the voltage is doubled to 24.73, which means we still get the same amount of wattage. We get double the wattage actually, because we've still got our 3,000, because 24 times 130 is 3,120 watts or whatever it was. So we still get the same amount of watts out of it. I hope this makes sense, but we're running at a much lesser current because we're still at 130 amps, which means we can run smaller cables. How do you think the national grid things run through their cables? They're running massive voltages, thousands and thousands of volts, and keeping the amperage down, because the magic of electricity, it can always be converted back after. Volts times watts, volts times amps gives you your wattage. Watts divided by volts gives you your amperage. So whichever way you do it, you still get the same amount of watts, which is your actual usable power, what your machines use, what your washing machine uses and stuff. So that's the reason we stepped up to a 48 volt system. If we did this again and put another battery on here and went pos to neg on that, we'd have 36 volts, but we'd still only have 130 amps, but we still maximise all the power that's in them, just use it in a different and safer way. So basically, yeah, I'm going up to 48 volts, and the same with wiring our banks of panels in series. We can carry much more power in a much safer way. Not that volts aren't dangerous, but higher voltages allow you the same amount of watts for a much lower current, which is much safer and easier to work with. So I hope that helps. Right, so let's get on with these doors. I'm just going to make simple 2 ledges and then the rest vertical, just like every other door in the house, keeping with the old tradition. Slightly different types of wood, but the same. Try and keep everything the same. I'm going to make my ledges, my horizontals, from some offcuts of tongue and groove floorboards. I'm going to take the tongue off, take the groove off, take the tongue off, and then I'm just going to cut them in half, and they'll form, you couldn't see that, could you? Cut them in half, and they'll form my ledges. I need 4 altogether because I'm just doing the 2 bottom doors first. First thing I'm going to do is cut them to length. That gives me less to rip down. They want to be 40 centimetres. Mark him up. One. 2. Obviously when I rip these down they're going to become 4. So let's get them done. Right on, so there's my 4 ledges. The width of my doors is, well, the width of the opening is about 465 millimeters. Each of these has a finished face of 90 millimeters. So I'm just going to go for a straight 5 with a 450 mil width, which will give me 8 mil or whatever all the way around, which should be alright. So I need 10, the 900 millimeters long, so I need 10, so I'll get them cut. Right, so there we are, 2 lots of 5. What I need to do now is take the tongue off the outsidest edge of the door. I'm going to take the tongue off this side because it doesn't actually interfere with the width of the bore, because I'm a bit crucial on my widths. I'm probably going to leave the tongue on the hinge side, leave the groove on the hinge side at the other end to give me that, just that little bit of extra width that I need. And you'll never see it because when the door's shut you won't see it, and when the door's open it'll be inside the door anyway. It just saves me using an extra piece of wood to make it extra wide and then having to rip both sides down. So I'll pop the tongue off these 2. Alright, so there we go. I'm just going to give that a sand down, because that's our visible edge, so it's nice and neat and rounded and etc. Easy enough to do by hand. And take a few minutes. That's quite nice. Right, I've got the other one done. So what I've done now, I've just put 5 of my boards together. They're not fixed or anything, just slotted them together, squared them up with the edge of my table, because the table's dead square, and basically just slot them into each other, and simple as that really. Now I'll do the same with the other ones. starting with the end one, of course, that we know is right. And yeah, just slot them all together. When you've done that, you can put them with your table then and square them up and make sure all your ends are level and everything. But in the first instance, yeah, just stick them together. It's pretty easy to get them somewhere near anyway. There's always one though. There we go. He's in. Sometimes if they don't go in, just give them a tap. Like that. And the last one. There we go. Right, I'll square him up now. See what's next. So what I've done next, I've just positioned my ledges exactly where I want them. I'm going to flip them up, put a bead of glue under them, and then all four, and then clamp these across to hold them until the glue goes off. When the glue's gone off, I shall fire some nails in from underneath. This will squash them all flat and hold them all dead level. And I can't nail from this side because I need to come through from the front because of the length of my nails and the maximum length of my nails that I can get. So we just rock him up like that, stick a good blob of glue on him, drop him down, bear in mind that they are very, very slippy once they're done. So I get these four done and then get some clamps on them. So there we go, easy as that. We'll leave that now for probably half an hour, and then come flip them over and nail them through. So we'll come back to it shortly. Right, in the case of while I'm waiting for these to dry, I'm going to cut the stuff for the other door, the tall door that goes over the pipes and the meter and all the consumer unit and all that. Same principle really, exactly the same, it's just a slightly different size. So there we go. Then we'll run out of one-handed clamps, so I'll have to use the big G clamps. That was proper curly, that was, so hopefully once it's all set it'll be alright. We'll find out in a bit. Right, these should be done now. Take them off and have a look, see what they're like. There's a compressor running away in the background, you can hear. Okay. We'll flip them over, stick a few nails in them. That's it, they're pretty good. One, two. Yeah, they come out alright. Fantastic. That one I'm a bit worried about, but we'll fix that later. And my nail is here. We'll just wait for that to charge up fully and then we can nail them together. Right, there we go. So again, as always, one either side of the joint, two in the end one. Need to mark where my line is. You can see it there actually. That's it, right, get the rest of them done. The next step of course is to get them hung. I've done this one, he's good. I can't put any handles on yet because I can't make them. I'm going to fix the hinge to this side first and then just pack the door up where I want it to, yeah, pack him up to where I want him to get the levels the same and everything, and then that should work alright. So we'll get on with this one. Get them on here. I'm a bit low on screws actually, so I've only meant to put two in each side. a bit shoddy. I need to go and get some. I need to get him at the same height as that one. I'll go and get my big level. Right, so I've got my hinges on the frame. I've got my door sort of wedged partially with my knee. There we go. Get one in there and then get one in the bottom and then we should be good. Right, okay, so they're on. As I've said before, these posts are slightly darker. It's because it's pressure treated, but in time, over the months, over the years, weeks even, they will go lighter to exactly the same colour. Of course, once it's all oiled, including this round here as well, it'll blend them all together a lot more. You will see this, of course. I can't do any handles on it yet because I haven't got a vise. I need to go and get a vise. I can't put all the rest of the screws in because I need to go and get some screws. I can't put that door on the top there because I need some hinges because they're slightly thinner than these, and some things for the handles as well. But it's ready to go. So yeah, excellent, so happy. Hopefully Sharon will be super happy as well. She's just gone shopping, but when she gets back, excellent, so yeah, fantastic.
Well, look at that. I've got doors on my cabinet at last. Hides my linen basket and my recycling bin, and it looks much neater. So happy days. Andy's going man shopping on Monday to get a new vise so that he can make some handles and a whole list of other stuff that we need. So whilst he's out, I shall start on the oiling. Exciting times. Oh, here's a little Alf. Hello, baby. You come say hello. Come say hello. He's just having his daily run around because most of the time we have to keep him in the apartment because, well, he's so tiny. He's just get lost around here. So, but we let him out for a little run around. So he's just having his daily run around, aren't you, Alf? He's doing very well. Bit of a sneeze there. So that's it, guys, for another exciting episode of Think Alive. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you the next one on Thursday.